You not only use herb for smoking alone, right? We can get plenty out of this product. We can make clothes, you know. You can use this for tensure, you know. And you have plenty different uses. You can use it for material to build houses, you know. You see America,
Fuel.
they're using it for fuel as well, you know. So it have plenty we could do for ganja in Trinidad, but you know we need the decriminalization of the herbs.
What
First
sort of
of all,
incentives you think would be helpful? Just if you could think of any type of incentives for farmers, for planters, because you don't just only plant, you know, one type of crop. You have several types of vegetation, flora and fauna, agriculture that you get into. Every pepper we see in the market, every carrot, right, every sweet potato, that have to be planted somewhere, right? So what sort of incentives you think would help to boost the cannabis industry in trying to go and help push it forward?
well, we need.
What are your needs? Yeah.
What do we need?
What are your needs as a farmer, as a planter? What would incentivize you?
Well, we need the right to be producing the herb in a big scale. And we're not just talking about for smoking uses only. You know, we could make products out of herb. You know, we see everybody doing it in foreign. And we in Trinidad, we could do it as well. You know, we could have infused products, you know, and export it. You know, have our own product where we bring in from our island, because we country produce potent herb with a lot of THC. You know, so that would be good for the market, or you know, establishing Trinidad as a high grade market in herb industry.
What makes our herbs so potent, so high in the THC factor?
Well, you could say the climate, you know, but in this time here now, these kind of seeds where we have access to carry plenty THC, because this is genetic seeds, right? This is seeds where man-made seeds, you know. So plenty of the man-made seeds now that is produce high level of THC. We need to get access to those kind of seeds, you know. And right here in Trinidad, we want to produce our own seeds, you know. We want to interbreed our own seeds in Trinidad so that we could have a direct, you know, seed bank in Trinidad.
So you're talking about education, expansion of knowledge, access to facilities and resources to get to those end results. Are there any sort of farmer cooperatives or community farms that exist where you have access to those agro resources, to facilities and so on? Because once the growth is one aspect of it, then you have to harvest and package and distribute and get your product out there. So sounding like education would be a good way to start creating incentives for farmers here.
Yeah, well, plenty of the plenty farmers in Trinidad just farming because of the love for it, but plenty people.
But they don't have the professional training and background.
Plenty people don't really educate themselves properly on planting herb. For me, I've been planting herb for almost 29 years to 30 years, right? And I learn a lot from it. It teach me a lot.
No, how did you learn?
Well, you know, somebody
Who taught you?
yeah, I don't know what that is. Somebody that started showing, you know, and I learned from one of my brethren on them. I ain't gonna call his name on set, you know, but he was the first man who carried me out in the bush in them time and showed me how to burst the nursery. You know, it always start with, you know, the first thing is to make sure your nursery is coming properly, otherwise you cannot get no herb if you ain't have no nurseries.
Yeah.
Right? So my thing is We need some programs to set up to teach people about farming, about growing herbs, and not just herbs alone, really food, because it's a spiritual and temporal, right? You can't plant food and then plant herbs, right? And you can't plant herbs and then plant food, right? Because all this is things to sustain the body, right? So I think the government in Trinidad need to set up things in place so that the youths who are coming could be well off educationally, because no one is teaching the youths and them about agriculture, like planting and,
What do you think will bring the youth back into the agricultural sector? What do you think would excite them?
The youths and them need something to hold on, something what they need, something what they love,
Like how they hold on to music and entertainment and carnival and the bacchanal.
Well, firstly,
what the youths in the Rastafarian community tend to be gravitating more towards, or you could see them gravitating towards?
Spirituality is the main thing. Being able to stand up foundation in wherever you believe in, right? Because everyone is supposed to be spiritually aware of themselves, and seeing that herb is something that could help us teach the youths and them spiritual awareness.
Then